All right, guys, and what is going on? As always, this is the Club of the Man 1993 back up here again for my first of two live reviews tonight. The first one I'm going to do now, the other one in about an hour because I have to run out after I do this review, run a quick errand, and I will come back here and do my live review of NXT. But this is my review of NXT UK from the February 20th, 2019 edition of NXT UK, the second episode that took place at the Phoenix Convention Center in Phoenix, Arizona, which was during Royal Rumble Access weekend. And overall, both these shows so far, I gotta say, they've been strong shows. I mean, this one, probably enjoyed last week's show a little bit more, I'd say, but this week's show was still a pretty good show. You know, putting some people over, having some, NXT UK and NXT clashes still here and there, teasing a few for next week. Also, it should be a pretty stacked card also for sure for next week, which I look forward to seeing for sure. But we're going to get right into this again because I'm on a limited time right now, and I got to, run out, do a quick errand before I leave because it's something I need to, get before I leave for my trip tomorrow. So let's get right into this, guys. Nobody in the live chat at the moment, but that's completely fine. So let's get started here talking about the opening match, which was a match with Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster taking on the Coffee Brothers from Gallus, Mark Coffey and Joe Coffey. Solid tag match start off the show. It does feel a little strange though right now with Joe Coffey being in contention for the UK Championship, but then he, of course, he was built up as someone to contend for, but obviously not ready to, be the one to dethrone Pete Dunne for sure. As you know, it's looking more and more like that's going to be Walter who's going to do that. Eventually, maybe we'll see what happens, but obviously keeping the momentum for Gallus going. So I do think they're definitely a strong unit, definitely to work with. It was announced also on NXT that there's going to be we're going to be having the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic returning in 2 weeks. So, I don't know, maybe they'll get involved there. I feel like they've definitely had a great performance with them. And of course, Wolfgang also was at ringside for them. But he's still getting involved in something fresh for him. This is kind of continuing on as other people who were attacked during the Royal Albert Hall tapings for the last NXT Championship tournament. It was just good back and forth action there. The Coffey Brothers dominated early, but then Flash Morgan entered the match again to turn things around for the baby faces. He did hit a hurricanrana on Joe Coffey from the ring apron. They continued to spell their offense, but then the Coffeys took control again when Mark Coffey took out Andrews at ringside before hitting a huge lariat on Webster to pick up the win, which is kind of good also to give Mark Coffey some momentum going also. I mean, yeah, him and Wolfgang are also part of this stable. But definitely I think that for a while it was still too focused on building up Joe than the others. So definitely helping get the rest of the Gallus rolling as well. So they get the win. So I got to say it was definitely a good match for sure to open up the show. We then get Trent Seven taking on Shane Thorn from NXT. Of course, Shane Thorn is an Australian, again, who just recently lost his tag team partner, Nick Miller, as he returned back home to Australia, which I keep saying, it sounds to me like he just wanted to take a break and focus on being a father right now. I mean, he's still kind of young, so I'm pretty sure he will be back someday in WWE. But I don't know if this is Shane Thorn going to be a singles competitor. He did have a match last week on NXT against Dominic Dijakovic, or whatever heck his name is, and lost. And then he had this match and to put over Trent Seven, which was a pretty good offense. Early on, Shane Thorn turned things around by slamming Seven into a mat. He then Seven then locked in a figure four, which resulted in both men landing heavily on the mat outside the ring. Once they got back in the ring, Seven almost picked up the win with a suplex, while Thorn went close with an inside cradle and suplex. But then Seven hit the 7 stars lariat to pick up the victory at the end. Again, it's solid, but then it shows could Shane Thorn be transferring over to NXT UK? Maybe since he's an Australian, he's an Australian, since it kind of more fits his culture, basically be able to go overseas and whatnot, or he maybe form a tag team with somebody else in NXT UK. I'm not sure who really is available right now for a tag team partner, but we'll see, of course, where it goes. But he still has solid performances here against Trent Seven, I thought. The next we had this promo. It was the NXT UK Tag Team Champions, the grizzled young veterans, James Drake and Liverpool's #1 Zach Gibson came out. He was complaining that he was forced to travel to Phoenix to educate a room full of Yanks about British wrestling. And out came their challengers next week for the tag titles in their first title defense. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, saying he is proud not only to be British but also to represent the NXT universe. When the NXT tag team made their way to the ring, wanted to say let's get on now, not wait till next week. Gibson and Drake retreated and they walked away. This promo was all right, but obviously, the audience, who's, of course, not as familiar with Zach Gibson, of course, us Americans don't completely understand why Zach Gibson is hated so much, probably because he's from Liverpool. Again, I'm not too sure of the whole thing, but they didn't seem to know who he was. But, but again, it's just, obviously, this is a chance for, an expanding brand in WWE, definitely get some more buzz going for them, especially for people who watch NXT UK. So obviously, right now, yeah, we getting the if you hate Gibson, shoes off or stand up. For what I'm saying here, chance going in the UK, but obviously, they're not familiar with them in America, so that's definitely hindered, the crowd reaction a little bit to this promo for sure. But it still did its job for needed to look forward to seeing what that tag match can display next week for NXT UK's tag titles. And finally, we had our main event. It was Toni Storm taking on Rhea Ripley in the third match these two have had on NXT UK. This is, of course, for the NXT UK Women's Championship. It was another good match. I mean, it wasn't really that much better than their match at TakeOver Blackpool, which was decent, but I don't know. Maybe these two just don't have the chemistry, like Toni Storm to have like the likes of Meiko Satomura and several other women, or like with Ginny, or she had a great match recently with Deonna Purrazzo, and she had one with Dakota Kai before Dakota got injured. So I don't know. Maybe Rhea and Toni just didn't have the best chemistry. I wouldn't say their match has been awful, but they haven't really hit like the highest note I felt they could hit for sure. But it wasn't too bad. Again, so back and forth action. They started brawling as soon as the match even started. Storm didn't really recover much after Ripley went on a dominant tear on her in the early stages, but Toni turned it around with a dive to the outside under the middle rope, followed by 2 suplexes and a hip attack. Ripley rallied but Storm eventually prevailed when she hit her Storm Zero to retain the championship, which again was about as good as her last match, but of course now is where does she go from there? Obviously, I feel the next, right now, I feel maybe Ginny could be the one to dethrone Toni Storm. But, do you want to, obviously she's probably the best of like all the women built up right now, but do you really want to see like Toni Storm's title reign end already? Like, that's why I was thinking, maybe, like have her like feud with somebody else, or you have somebody with a couple other people or something like that. And before eventually, I feel like maybe like by summer, maybe sometime we'll see Ginny dethrone Toni Storm maybe. And as far as Rhea Ripley goes, not sure where to go with her next. I have seen that she has been also even though the NXT UK profiles are like 100% clear anymore, she has her profile now under the NXT superstars list as well. So I don't know, maybe she's going to get some time at NXT also. We'll have to wait and see where it goes. The NXT's women's division obviously is an interesting turn of events right now also, which I'll discuss in my NXT review in a little bit. But that's how we went off the air. Again, Toni Storm retained. We have matches advertised for next week, which again is the NXT UK tag title match between the grizzled young veterans and I call them the Boston Brawlers, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. We also are going to have a match with Walter taking on Cassius Ohno from NXT, which is even an NXT superstar anymore because he quit last week. We'll see what happens with that, though. And also, we're getting a rematch that was for the UK Championship about maybe like a year or two ago, probably 2 years ago, I'd say, because he was still a babyface at the time. But it's going to be a match between Trent Seven and Gentleman Jack Gallagher, which I'm interested to see because I definitely think Gallagher should also try to spend some time. Some time also with NXT UK. I feel like he would benefit from being there also because on 205 Live, all right, but again, I feel like he could be more than just Drew Gulak's crony, basically, if you know what I mean. So I'm interested to see what he does in what's it called in NXT UK. Maybe it'll be long. He's someone I kind of hope would stay in NXT UK long term. Like, you know, Cassius Ohno obviously probably isn't. Again, who else is going to be? I mean, like Shane Thorn, I'd see him stay. Like, you know, even if only working at Danny Burch want to get out, we go back and forth. I can see them flowing back and forth. Fabian Eichner, Marcel Marthel definitely flowing back and forth as well. But we'll have to wait and see, guys. But that is it for my NXT UK review. Again, I'll give NXT UK a beat for this week. Yeah, I'll be back up here in probably about an hour, I'd say, because I got to run out, run a quick errand for something for work. Because again, I'm leaving tomorrow for my trip, so I'll be back up here with that. Before I go live, though, again, I will record the Dean Ambrose turn alert, get that uploaded, and then sometime while I'm gone over the next week, I will have to upload my WrestleMania card predictions. I wanted to get them done by today, but past days have been crazy, guys, getting stuff right before I leave. But yeah, so I will round to that errand. I'll be back here in about an hour to do my NXT live review. Then it's something I also expect the Dean Ambrose turn alert be uploaded also. And again, after that, it's just, you know, depends on what happens over next week with me being away and such. So, guys, once again, guys, what grade would you give NXT UK? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure to always click my like and subscribe more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93, guys. I'll see you guys about an hour for my NXT live review. So until then, guys, have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys in about an hour. Peace out, everybody.